Good afternoon for all who care and a few who don't. I have a previous version of this video that will, if it ever does finish uh, uh, processing, hi Apple, we'll go straight to unlisted mode. There's a reason for that. I'm going to be talking about Buffalo, and no, it's still not good news for those of you that got to see that preview, but it's worse now. But I'm calmer, right? No F-bomb. None of the other F-bombs will be dropped this time. I think I can control my temper this time. That's the real reason the other one's still processing, guys. I said the F word, and I don't mean fuck. So, um, as of Saturday, all I knew was there was a mass shooting, yet another mass shooting, and that there had been some accusations of racism. Um, it was what it was, right? Now I'm finding out more and more details. I want to go through this list very carefully. First of all, they say assault weapon. Okay. I still have nothing to substantiate that claim. Right? It is not an assault weapon. It is not an assault anything. It's not automatic and or burst fire compatible. The use of that term, especially with the backdrop of a terrorism event, which this was. This was a terrorist attack. Specific type of terrorist, but whatever. Is meant to scare the stupid into braying like sheep. Well, until you can show me that this weapon was automatic and or burst fire compatible, which we all know that means he made it automatic, and there's ways to do that. I've done some of them. I've played with some of them. Until that happens, this was not an assault anything. He obtained the weapon legally in the state of New York. Oh. I guess New York's gun laws are working so well, huh? But it gets worse. Reportedly, he converted it to a New York non-legal. Now, I'm not exactly sure what that means. And nobody's giving me real answers. Okay. Did he just change out the mag release system so that it's a standard AR-15 that he could have picked up in at least 45 of the other 50 states? I'm thinking that's the story here. It changes nothing. It doesn't even change the question of the assault weapon status, right? It doesn't. It changed nothing of value. The fact of the matter is, he could have home built this from 0%. And when I say 0%, I include the barrel. Yes, that is a thing. Right? He committed an act of terrorism. Now, because he is a white man, and I am supposedly a white man, I'm supposed to be making excuses for him. He's mentally ill. He wasn't held as a child. Fuck that guy. Right? He is a shining example of why we need to repeal the Eighth Amendment. This little piece of fucking dirt, this fly shit of a human. Well, no, let me rephrase that. He's not human, but that's not the point here. Needs to be destroyed like a common animal. And because other people have now copied him. There's been 8 copycats since then. That should fucking scare the shit out of you. 8 other people said to themselves, hey, I can do the same thing and I will get away with this. Because God knows he's going to get away with it. That should absolutely terrify you. It's time to start making people examples. We're going to start with this guy. Now, I got a couple of ideas. My main idea is to hang him by the feet until he is dead, 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 and live stream every second of it. There will be people who are watching this and thinking, yeah, you know what? That's exactly the way I want to go out. And they are mentally ill. And that's okay. They will be found out too. The infinitely vast majority of humanity, the 99.9 infinity percent, that their minds still work to one degree or another, are going to watch his suffering and say to themselves, yeah, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the one to die that way. You know what? I think I'm just not going to copy his example in life. The 8 people so far, and that doesn't even count the ones that, yeah, that was gang related. That would add 3 more to the list. Or was it 4? Whatever. The 8 who actually copied his example are going to understand, yeah, that was a bad idea. I should probably not copy his example in life. I might be a racist. I might believe in white replacement. I might be just a fucking asshole. But wait a minute, I am an asshole. I shouldn't talk too much shit about assholes, should I? Fuck you. I'm an asshole. Maybe they're just a fucking asshole. They're going to understand they don't want to die that way. Because that is a really, really horrific and awful way to go. And that's what it's meant to be. To be an example to others, don't do what he did. Now, the 8th Amendment prohibits cruel and unusual punishment. The intent of the 8th Amendment was, first of all, to prevent punishments that exceeded the nature of the crime committed. And that's the cruel, or were of an unprecedented nature. That's the unusual part. The unusual part, at very least, draws back to a single case. I don't know which side was winning or losing. I don't care. But there was a particular jurist in England who he had been backing the current monarch. Well, the current monarch went away, and a new monarch came in. This particular judge had been particularly cruel to his king's enemies. When his king went away, he lost his supporter. His king's opponents are now in power, and they're looking for some payback. So they took all of his old cases where he had ruled against them, bare minimum, went through and found a few examples where he had been particularly cruel in his punishments, and they prosecuted him for that. They found him guilty. Well, this is a show trial, right? A show trial for somebody who weaponized his court, but a show trial nonetheless. You know what? Okay, it is what it is, or it was what it was. But then, as his punishment, he was held in a cow stall and given as much bread and wine as he could eat and drink, or as much as he requested, or something like that. He died wallowing in cow shit. Maybe it was a pigsty. Maybe it was a pigsty. Either way, he died wallowing in animal shit. Too drunk to care anymore, because that's how much wine they gave him. And that was the point. They wanted him to drink himself to death. Or maybe constipate him to death. I really don't care. I don't. This was somebody who actually did deserve to die. He deserved to die by hanging, right? For the crimes he committed, he deserved to die by hanging, as was the common practice at the time. Was not cruel, was not unusual. Hanging for common criminals was the norm, right? And whether you agree or not, most crimes of any seriousness carried the death penalty back then. Today, the world's a little different. Stealing a loaf or half a loaf of bread will not guarantee another man's death. It is what it is. For better, for worse, it is what it is. But this guy, this Buffalo guy, no. What he did was inexcusable by any standard. Especially by my rather admittedly unusual standards. What he did was totally disgusting and so far beyond unacceptable. There are no actual words in the English language. He's a hajoka. He is hajoka. And he does not deserve Talik Braun. Talik Braun. He just deserves to be tortured to death. And that's what we need to do. We need to bring that torture as a punishment in and of itself unto death, if necessary. Which actually I don't see a reason to use torture as a punitive measure unless death is the point, but we can debate all that later. And of course, live stream it so that anyone anywhere can see, oh, he's still alive. That's gotta suck. It could take him a week or so to finally expire, and then leave him up for a couple days until he starts to bloat. So we know he's really, really dead. He's not unconscious or something like that. Because, honestly, he's hanging and he dies, and you let him down. And if you can resuscitate him, great, good. Let him go back to his suffering for a little longer. That is how disgusted I am with this guy. I'm going to say this the way it is. I don't care if he's mentally ill. I really don't. I'm mentally ill. I didn't shoot up a grocery store. I'm mentally ill. I didn't target blacks for murder. I'm mentally ill. I have never actually committed an act of violence that I could not justify later. Some of them required a lot of explaining. Okay, all right, that happened. I did that. I'm over it. And a couple of them got me into some trouble. Yeah, okay. You know what? I did what I did. I own it. But I've never committed a mass shooting. I've never targeted people for their race. Right? I've never committed a hate crime, and yes, hate crime is a thing. You're not going to find any sympathy from me for this guy, right? You're finding more and more hate. If you did see the original version, um, there's a lot of hate in there. A lot of hate. Right? And I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly fine with my hypocrisy because you know what? This guy deserves the hate. He does. It's time to repeal the Eighth Amendment. The second half of that. Oh, I want to point out we the last I heard he wrote some weird manifesto, stupid manifesto, um, explaining why he was doing what he's doing. I said something at this point in the original version that probably is one of the hang-up points why YouTube won't let it finish processing. Um, if you're like that, next time, next person in line, if you're like that, wait for the cops to show up because they will. All right. Again, I can't wait until Angry Cops goes off on this one. It hasn't even happened yet. I'm already a little bit scared. Um, but moving right along. If you're the next guy in line, wait for the cops to show up, right? And then don't don't pretend like it's not happening. You know why you were there, right? You know how this was supposed to end. You thought about that, and that's what you wanted. So next time, end it the way you wanted it to end. Don't rewrite the ending of that story just because everybody's fucking following the script. Wait a minute, they're following the script. That's why you changed the script. Okay, moving right along. All gun control is rooted in racism, and 99% of it is still just racist. Look at my face. Tell me I'm not white. No, you can't do it. It's like half of the people that follow my channel, they don't believe me when I say that I have black and Jewish and Korean. What? I don't. I have some questions about that one too. I understand, but I do have black and do have Jewish ancestors. Right? I could go to any county in any state, anywhere in the country. I will get a concealed carry permit with a state driver's license. It is that simple. And all I have to do is say a few magic words. Like I'm a courier for a merchants, and I carry large amounts of cash on a regular basis. Or I work at or I carry large amounts of cash on a regular basis. I'm a security guard. I carry a gun on duty. I'm getting the concealed carry permit so that I have that extra level of protection while I'm at work. I'm this, I'm that, I can't even tell you how many excuses there are out there. I don't even know. I have an ex-wife who's psychotic, provably psychotic. Yeah. Well, when they see what I know about her, they'll be like, yeah, you probably do have a reason to worry. Uh, um, it's as simple as that. Make my face black. Or even if I'm a very, very lighter shade of black. See how fast I get that same CCW. It's not going to happen. All right. It's also that simple. Now, and let me rephrase that. And maybe it will happen, but it'll be much more difficult for me as a black man to get that same CCW with that same information. Right. Um. It really is as simple as that. This guy targeted this store because it was a majority black neighborhood, and he was going to kill some blacks. It's as simple as that. He shot the security guard, which, by the way, I still haven't heard. Was the guard white or black? Black neighborhood, but an armed security guard. That one could go either way. It could really go either way. Beyond that, he shot the security guard to get to the people. He shot another employee, apparently. He was so determined to do what he intended to do that he shot white people because they got in his way. No other reason than that. The last I heard, neither one of them had survived. As a matter of fact, the last I heard, his body count went from 10 to 11. What good did New York's gun control laws do here? All it did was create a community of victims waiting to be targeted. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Now, I'm saying this as somebody who used to be there doing that. That was the point. To create as many potential victims as they could. Now, I say that as somebody who's been there, done that. Back in the day when I was still a gun control supporter, I understood that this sort of thing was going to happen at first when the Second Amendment was repealed, right? But it would peter off quickly as guns became less and less available because, by God, we banned the guns, can't have them, and it's a death penalty crime to have even the materials to make them, so we should be safe now, right? Well, besides the question whether that theory was true or not, I understood back then that this sort of thing was going to happen for a while. And we were going to have to suffer through mass shootings for a while. So yes, I was there. I did that. I do know of what I speak. And that was the point of New York's gun control law, of California's gun control law, of Washington and Oregon's gun control laws. And don't even start me up about New Jersey's gun control law, because you can't even be on the freeway with a gun if you're from outside a state. That's a great plan there, guys. Let me tell you. This was a preventable disaster created by New York's actually institutional racism. This morning I saw a clip of a video purported to be put out by Coleon Noir. Oh God, I hope it's true. Purportedly to be somebody who was at the grocery store when this happened. God, I hope that's true too. He said on camera, if these people had been armed, this wouldn't have happened. Now, flag on the play, yellow card. I understand that's not actually what he said. That's not a proper quote. I'm okay with that. It was to that effect. And you know what? He's right. If those people had been armed, somebody would have shot back. Probably to a degree of force that would be, in many other situations, considered excessive. Literally emptied the fucking clip and reloaded. And maybe chased him back out into the parking lot, still shooting. Okay, that might have been a little excessive, but I get it. You're mad. This motherfucker just took a shot at you, and now he's running away like a bitch? Yeah. Yeah, you're going to take a few more shots at him. I get it. I understand. Don't go there. Don't do that. Okay. Once he's stopped threatening your life, let him go. And if he's dead, he's not threatening your life anymore, is he? I understand. Believe me when I say I understand that desire to chase him down. And if he's out of bullets, start beating him with his own gun. Don't do that. Right? If those people had been armed, he would be dead. He would be absolutely dead. Because they don't have the rules that the cops do about any intent of bringing him in alive, of wearing body armor, of reasonable force matrix. Nah, they don't got any of that. They can just start shooting and keep on going. The grocery store would need new doors and windows and cash registers. Yeah, that place would have been just huge hole in the front of the building. That guy'd be dead. Body armor or no. Sooner or later, one of those bullets was going to find a spot where there was no armor. He's not going anywhere ever again. And 8 people would still be alive now. That's bare minimum. 8 people would still be alive now. So, yeah, he pulled that trigger. You know what? Maybe he did believe a crazy racist conspiracy theory. But who created the circumstances that allowed him to flourish? I'll let you in on a secret. Crazy conspiracy theorist or no, they didn't give him the gun. They didn't disarm those people, right? Just saying, put all of the blame where it really belongs. All right, for the rest of you, first of all, those of you that saw the original version, I'm sorry about the beard. I'm sorry about the wife beater. I was mad. Fucking mad. All right. Um, it was what it was. I'm sorry. I'll try to be more professional in the future. Um, don't be that guy because I got nothing but hate in my heart for him. I I want to watch his live stream. He doesn't even deserve the dignity of death in private. Oh, there. By the way, because I didn't touch on this before, the reason that executions are no longer public is it was deemed to be cruel and unusual that your death should become a public affair and a matter of mockery and ridicule. What fuck you, right? You did that execution, you did that mass shooting very, very publicly. What's the problem here? And it would be very instructive to others to be able to watch you suffer the way you you are making others suffer now. Right. I cannot tell you to commit a crime. That would be inappropriate. I can tell you that even when I go back to California from now on, I'm going to be carrying. That's it. I have been for a while now, but I'm not going to be secretive about it anymore. And this case is exactly the reason why. Keep calm and manage to carry on.